Is there any free way to increase the megapixels of your camera? The answer is yes, and we will talk about it right now. What's up YouTube? Welcome back to Newpix, where we learn how to be better photographers. I told you that I will show you a trick to increase the number of megapixels of your camera and reach a higher level of details into your pictures. Now, this trick is actually a side effect of what we call panorama pictures. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with panorama, it just means that when you want to capture a really wide scene, but your lens is not able to do it, you simply subdivide this wide scene into multiple pictures. You take these multiple pictures, like small pieces of a puzzle, and then you recompose the puzzle all together into Lightroom, Photoshop, or whatever software you have. Now, the thing is, sticking together multiple pictures of a certain amount of megapixels will make the final image, the final puzzle, of a much more megapixels than it would originally be if you have taken it only in one shot. And this works even better if before taking the pictures you zoom in a little bit so that you achieve a little bit of more details, and then you start composing your puzzle with all the little pieces. Now let's jump to Lightroom so that I can show you what I'm talking about, and we can discuss also which are the pros and the cons of doing this. Here we are back into Lightroom, and I want to share with you what I meant by the fact that you can increase the amount of megapixels that your camera has. I was shooting with a Nikon D3100, which is by default a 14.2 megapixel camera, and I was taking a shot of this scene here. Now, this was shot at 24mm, f13, ISO 100, and I had a megapixel count of 10 megapixel because I need to crop a little bit to resize, but let's say that my camera can go max at 14.2. What I did, I simply subdivided this scene into smaller pieces like a puzzle, and then I recomposed my puzzle by using the panorama function. Here I was taking a shot of this piece and then a little bit higher, a little bit higher, and a little bit higher, and then I took these 4 images and then I went to Unify Pictures and Panorama, and what Lightroom did, it sticked all together the pictures to give me this kind of image. Now, while this image, let's say the one frame image that you can take without using Panorama, it can be max 14.2 megapixels, while this image, as you can see, it's 3400 megapixels by 5200 megapixels, which brings us to a resolution of 18 megapixels. Since I decided to shoot these small pieces of the puzzle at a higher focal length, so instead of 22mm, I was at 32mm, I was closer to the details. I could capture a sharper image, and in fact, if you take a side-by-side comparison of these two images, now we have the one single frame image on the left and the composed panorama on the right. If I zoom in here at 100% crop, you can appreciate how sharper, crisp and clean is this image compared to this one, pretty much everywhere. Now let's take a look at a different image that I decided to compose by using the same technique. I was having this framing, and what I did, again, I decided to divide this whole framing into smaller pieces, so I went from the bottom to the top at a higher focal length. Now here I was shooting at 22mm, here I decided to shoot at 24mm, so I was a little bit closer to the details. And when I decided to unify all of these images into a panorama, then I came up with this image. And if we take a comparison, now we have on the left the composed one, on the right the single frame. If we zoom in on this rock, you can immediately see how sharper and with much more details this rock is compared to this one. And this the same for this kind of rock. Here look how much sharper and clean this rock is compared to this one. Again, I was a little bit closer, I zoomed in, I took multiple frames, and then I composed all of them together into one panorama, which now has 16 megapixel instead of 14.2. And here we go. So now we are able to capture higher level of details even by old cameras. This won't work always. You have to know when to use it, where not to use it. Of course, you can use it for moving objects. You might use it for landscapes. You might use it, for example, for product photography, if you have something which is not moving and you have all the time to recompose the different frames. For very long exposures, when you want to compose those, then it becomes a little bit tricky, as I show you, because the waves, they are not really synchronized, of course, because there are multiple frames. And same thing might happen to the clouds if you have very big clouds which are moving into your images. So you want to experiment a little bit with that and see whether or not it's convenient for you to do this. If you like this video and you find it useful, please subscribe by clicking the subscribe button, leave a comment into the comment section and tell us which are your secrets, or if you have other tips to share how to achieve higher level of details into your picture. In the meantime, I suggest you to write down into the comment section the link to your portfolios. I will showcase them into the next episodes, and you can get exposure, you can get critiques, we can all learn by your work and our work. In the meantime, remember to shoot, learn and improve. I'll see you next time and take care.